Welcome to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm your host, Joy Taylor. On today's show, is Case Keenum the answer at quarterback for the Denver Broncos? Plus, what to make of Tom Brady hinting at retirement in the latest episode of his documentary. And does Lonzo Ball need to start standing up for himself? Skip, Shannon, let's get to it. Case Keenum will reportedly sign with the Broncos when free agency officially begins tomorrow. John Elway and Denver were reportedly in the mix for Kirk Cousins, but apparently lost out on the former Redskin. Keenum had a breakout year, going 11-3 as the Vikings starter and leading them to the NFC Championship game. So, Shannon, is this the right move for your Broncos by John Elway?
He's the best option after losing out on Kirk Cousins. Skip, you couldn't lose out. You can't lose out on both, and you can't keep putting all your eggs in Kirk Cousins' basket, and then someone swoops in, and now you lose Case Keenum, and you lose Cousins. This is what we know. This team is equipped to, I believe, challenge for a playoff spot and go deep into the playoffs with consistent quarterback play. They tried it last year. Paxton Lynch is not ready. We don't know if he'll ever be ready. We knew what Brock Osweiler was a year ago. But I guess at $725,000, Skip, he was just too good of an option to pass up. And then Trevor Siemian, he is what he is. He's a good backup, can come in, give you about a month worth of work. Now you need your starter back. I believe Case Keenum is the best option for the Broncos. It probably saves them in the neighborhood of $10 to $12 million a year. So now they'll be able to go and maybe address another issue, offensive line, maybe defensive line. So we know John wanted to make a splash. Peyton Manning, we saw it. D. Ware from the Cowboys. He's Aqib Talib. So in free agency, Skip, he's not trying to get no bottom feeders. He's not just trying to get, just a guy. No, he's trying to get name guys, proven guys. I believe Case Keenum is the best option because it doesn't look like Kirk Cousins is going to be an option. So I agree. Yes, this is the right move for the Broncos, and I believe Elway did an unbelievable job.
What I believe is that John Elway took the easy way out. He took the short-term, safe way out. I'm not saying this is the best way out because I think there was a better way to go, but it's a scary way to go, and I think John had swung and missed enough times on quarterbacks in drafts that he finally said, no mas, I give up. No more, as he was saying the other day, swinging and missing. And he's admitted the other day, I'm sure I'll swing and miss again.
Right.
But he said, not this time. So he took himself off the quarterback hot seat by going with the tried and true. Not that Case Keenum is all that tried and true. He's tried for 1 year, and he threw 22 touchdowns to 7 interceptions, and he took that team in Minnesota all the way to the NFC Championship game. So he did that.
Right.
And so you can feed off that. You can play off that. You can sell that to your fans.
Absolutely.
And by the way, just for the record, because anybody who's followed me on television knows, I've always liked Case Keenum. Is he Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers? No, he's not. No. But he's pretty good. And he'll be pretty good for your Broncos next year because he's wily and he's mentally tough and he's a gamer and he's an underrated athlete who can make some plays with his legs.
He can.
And he has average arm talent that he maximizes with a good brain. He's got a good football mind, and he's like a good point guard who anticipates. You know, he can see the pass before he makes it. And he'll put off this spectacular play every once in a while, as we saw at the end of the Minnesota Miracle game. He did throw that ball. He did. And Stephon Diggs caught that ball, and Marcus Williams did not play that ball. But that's a whole nother story. So here's John Elway. But I'm going to contend this to you right now. I say longer term, Baker Mayfield will be better than Case Keenum. But that would require you closing your eyes and taking Baker Mayfield with the 5th overall pick if, in fact, he lasts until the 5th overall pick. That's just me. Baker Mayfield.
Ain't going before 5, Skip.
Huh? Well, I don't
It might not even be top 10.
You could be shocked over this. Remember what Charlie Weiss said? He'd take him number 1 overall, right?
And he probably would be top 5.
People may just be laying in the weeds right now to take Baker Mayfield before that. So there is some gamble on who's going to be left at 5. I thought for a while maybe John would fall in love with a Josh Allen who was more Elway-esque at 6'5", 240
Well, let's
pounds.
see what the terms of this agreement is. Let's see
I think it's short term. I mean, I think it'll be a couple of years.
Okay, but even that being said, how much guaranteed money is going to – Skip, it's hard for me to believe that you're going to give this guy, let's just say for safe, 5 years, $100 million, 55, 60 million guaranteed.
I think it's short term. All the reports are short term, but we haven't seen the numbers yet.
So you think it's something like 3 years?
It could be 2 years, around 20 million a year, 20-ish.
Well, if that's the case, then they are definitely going to be. They probably will be in the market for a quarterback.
Maybe not now. Maybe not in this draft. Because to your point, they got a lot of other glaring needs.
Yes.
So you do have the 5th overall pick, or you could. Now, Buffalo, Buffalo obviously made a move yesterday, so they've got the firepower to trade up to 5 now.
Yes.
If you want to go back and take a couple of first-round picks, you could do it that way.
I agree, and I believe that's what John would like to do, accumulate some picks and go into the draft and maybe build, get some depth through young guys. Because that's what they did with Bradley Roby. Played. Okay, now he's ready to start. We get rid of Akeem, and we get a 5th-round draft pick. So maybe they back up. Acquire some.
Or does he? Now, I love Minkah Fitzpatrick. I think he is a player, and if you think he's a Talib type, so if you think he's that good, maybe you take him. That Notre Dame guard is the next Zach Martin. That Quentin Nelson, he's sitting right there. That's who Todd McShay has Denver taking at 5. I don't know. You could go that way. But you could also, if you were really gutsy, and I think John's been burned so many times he's not, you could take a quarterback with the 5th overall and just make Case your bridge.
Yes.
You could.
Yeah, but I think the guy that reminds John most of himself would probably be Josh Allen.
It would be.
A big guy. He's a little taller than John, a little heavier, but John had the arm, and he could throw the ball a long way down the field.
Okay, but that's a project at best.
Yeah. But I think John probably early on wasn't as accurate as he became later in his. I think John is a better athlete than Josh Allen. I think John Elway is a better athlete than all these guys coming out, other than Lamar Jackson.
I mean, you knew John Elway, but I mean, for people who knew him right when he first came into the league, he was a spectacular baseball player. He was. And
in the past that you saw that Nick Foles caught the touchdown on.
Yeah.
Dan Reeves routinely had that play. We throw that play probably 3-4 times a year.
Yeah.
And John would catch it running up the sideline for 30, 40 yards, not just a 2-3 yard touchdown.
The John Elway I watched the first 2 or 3 years in this league, he was a running quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, they were called runs for him.
Yes. So I believe all things being equal, if he had a choice, if you say, okay, you get your choice of quarterbacks at 5, I believe Josh Allen is the guy best suited for him. But Case Keenum, Skip, it gives them an opportunity because you're going to save $10, $12 million per year. Because Kirk Cousins is going to come in somewhere around 27 to 30, $31 million a year. You're probably going to have to guarantee at least $100 million over the first 3 years.
I'm going to say it again. He is about to become, by far, the most overpaid quarterback in NFL history. Go ahead.
He's probably going to get $60 million just the first year alone, Skip.
Yep.
And so I don't know if John was willing, because what good is it to sign Kirk Cousins if you got to get rid of DT? You got to get rid of Emmanuel. You got to get rid of some. At that point in time, it's almost like the Carmelo going to the Knicks, Skip.
Yep.
You have to give up so much to get him. By the time he gets there, it's bare. So you defeated the purpose of you getting a guy that can help you get to the point of where you wanting to go. I like this. Would I prefer to have Kirk Cousins? Yes. All things being equal, hell, I prefer to have Drew Brees. But that seems to be an option that is off the table because it looks like he's going back to New Orleans. And so with that being said, this is the best John could do given the circumstances, because he knows what he has in Denver is not good enough to take him where he needs to be. And being out of the playoffs for a 3rd consecutive year is unacceptable to him.
Okay, so I said that Baker Mayfield long-term will be better than Case Keenum. I'll also say this. Case Keenum, to me, is a little better than Kirk Cousins. So that's a score. He just is.
No, he ain't.
Yes, he is. Look what he did last year. He took that team to 11-3. I know it's got the best defense in pro football, but he had the 2nd-best QBR to your man Carson Wentz.
Look at what he had to throw to, Skip. Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen went to the Pro Bowl.
Okay.
Kyle Rudolph.
All right.
Kirk Cousins, guys, you remember, they let free agency. They let 2 of them go. One ended up in San Francisco, the other in Tampa, and his tight end, his all-world tight end, stayed hurt. He couldn't stay healthy. His offensive line was in flux. So give Kirk that situation. We're going to see. We're going to talk about him a little later.
Is more of a winner than Kirk Cousins is. I'm not saying that Kirk Cousins doesn't have more ability than Case Keenum.
He won in college, Skip.
Who?
Kirk.
Oh, I guess. Some. So
But
did Case Keenum was good in college. He was really good.
I thought you liked the Big Ten. You say you like the Big Ten. Kirk was in the Big Ten. It's just all right. I mean, it ain't Bama. I mean, he ain't been in the SEC.
I went to SEC school. I went to the
doormat.
No, I went to the pipeline to the NFL.
Okay, you're right.
And by the way, did you see Casey Hayward? He got a huge contract because he's the best corner in all of football.
Yeah, I
He's
like
from
Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's really nice. That's a nice school. Nice institution.
Yeah.
High learning. Heard they
Casey
got a good
Hayward,
medical
how did
program.
he come out of there?
Are you trying to get a discount?
Oh, yeah.
Vanderbilt?
So now you have Case Keenum as just a stopgap, but he's a good stopgap. And you still have a pretty good team whose window is closing on your defense.
You mean to tell me that Broncos about to play $50 million for a doorstop?
But stopgap.
Nah, he better.
Not a doorstop.
No, he better not be no stopgap. He better stay for a while.
Well, he gives you a year or two just to get you over the hump with what's left. You're about to be in rebuild mode on your defense. Yep. I don't know how much it's got left.
Well, I mean, Chris Harris Jr. is good, still fairly young. I don't think he's 30 yet. You got Roby. Roby is, 26? Mm-hmm. You still got Von Miller. Von Miller's, 27, 28?
Okay.
There's a few more pieces.
You're going to miss Talib.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
so
they're going to do something with
now
Derek
look
Wolfe.
at your division. Yeah, maybe. So now you have a brand new quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, in Kansas City, and that's been the best team in the division. And they just signed one Sammy Watkins to go with Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce and Kareem Hunt. So he's got weapons, but he's never played in the NFL, or he's never started a game in the NFL. So I'm going to have to say that your team is slightly better at this point with Case Keenum than they are yet. They may come fast, but right now on paper, I'd give the Broncos a slight shot.
But here's the thing, this is what we know about Sammy Watkins. When he plays, he can be dynamic.
Yeah.
The problem with him is that his inability to stay healthy throughout the entirety of the season. So that's why Buffalo gave up on him. Mm-hmm. That's why the Rams didn't re-sign him. He's only 25. 25 years of age. That's what he is. Mm-hmm. But he can't stay healthy.
Nope.
And
they just gave him a whole bunch of money.
That Joe got a boat.
Whew.
Dez Bryant, that money out there. If I'm you, I ain't taking no pay cut. Hell nah, Jerry ain't taking no pay cut. I'm going to go get me some of this money out here because they paid it. They gave Sammy Watkins $16 million. No Pro Bowls, no All-Pros. He was traded. They gave him $16 million. Then you ought to get out and get you about 10 or 12. But I
thought you were you thought Dez is a disaster, shell of himself.
I think that if he were to go somewhere else and have something to prove, because in the Cowboy fans gonna love Dez regardless. They look at, Dez he's still a top 5 receiver, even though he hasn't gotten 1,000 yards. Even though he hasn't had double-digit touchdowns since 2014. Dez still top 5. Go give him Ben Roethlisberger. Give him Aaron Rodgers. Okay.
Okay, so back to your division. So now you got the John Gruden X factor in Oakland.
Ain't no X factor.
Well, I don't know. Is he
gonna
going
coach
to
like
jumpstart it?
He said he's going to coach like 1998.
Well, he did.
And the Broncos beat the brakes off him. How do I know?
Okay, so you have a young quarterback there who I still have questions about.
I got a lot of questions about
and I have a whole lot of questions about the defense.
Oh, my goodness.
So I'm not sure about the Raiders, but I'm still sold on the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yes.
Phillip Rivers is still Phillip Rivers, and it seems like he's been there for 20 years, but this is about to be his 15th year. And that's a loaded football team that I thought would win that division last year, but the kicker cost them the first 2 games, and they never quite got back over the hump.
Right.
And so I would give them a slight edge over the Broncos and then the Chiefs and then the Raiders.
And they got a defense that's out of this world.
Yep.
You got Bosa, you got Ingram, you got Legit. So they got some guys that can play on that side of the ball. Now, the question is, can those receivers, Keenan Allen is a monster. You saw when he stayed healthy what he can do. Melvin Gordon, now all of a sudden you started like, wow, Melvin Gordon pretty good because he can catch and run the football. So I agree with you. The Broncos have their work cut out. Don't think just because you're getting Case Keenum, automatically you're the favorite, because I don't believe they are, Skip. I still believe the Kansas City Chiefs are slightly better than the Broncos. But it won't be no situation where you going in, you're like, man, if this goes right, if the ball bounces like this, and the Eagle lands on that flagpole at 12:05, we got a chance to win.
Yep.
You coming in with a football team and a quarterback. That is the one position that not only the offense, but the defense, everybody has to buy in, Skip, and believe that we have a chance to win on Sunday.
Yep.
I don't believe they believe that. They believe that if Talib gets a pick 6 or Vaughn gets a strip sack and we get a scoop and score, we can win.
Yep.
You can't hope for all those scenarios to go right. You think Tom Brady, you think the Patriots believe like, man, if we get a pick 6 and we get a scoop and score, if we do, no, we're going to win because we got him. That's the kind of confidence you got to have in your quarterback. You got to believe that you're going into the game. I know, played with John Elway for 9 years. We go into the game, we got this.
Yeah.
And if we behind, he going to bring us back.
That is true. So speaking of your man, John Elway, is it possible that John, as the GM, as the architect of the Broncos, is suffering some Michael Jordan syndrome, as in Michael Jordan has had a hard time picking players who can play basketball.
Yeah.
The greatest player ever can't quite pick players who can play. John Elway's had a hard time, one of the top 5 quarterbacks ever, picking a quarterback who can play, because he picked Brock Osweiler at the bottom of the 2nd round. He tried Zach Dicer at the bottom of the 7th, Trevor Siemian 7th, Chad Kelly in 7th, and then, of course, he tried Paxton Lynch.
Well, it would help.
Bottom of the 1st round.
It would have helped had Michael gotten the ping pong instead of being 2, being 1. Now he gets Anthony Davis instead of Michael Kidd. A lot of times, Skip, it's just a
Sometimes, yep. No, I agree. But it's funny to me that here you have Howie Roseman in Philadelphia, who never even played high school sports, didn't play any high school sport, never played any level of football that I'm aware of.
Right.
And he just put together the Super Bowl championship team in Philadelphia. And he made one sweet move after another last offseason, all of which added up to Super Bowl. And here you have the great John Elway, and he's flailing to find a quarterback, and he finally says, I give up. I'm going to take Case Keenum, who a year ago most people wouldn't have given you a dime for.
You're
right?
exactly right.
Yeah.
I think, and plus, I think it's easier if you have not played sports to be a general manager as opposed to being one, especially an all-time great.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, Skip, you're going to compare everybody that you're possibly looking at to you.
I agree with that.
So
that was always my contention with Michael Jordan. It came so, not that he didn't work hard, not that John didn't work hard at their craft, but it came so easily that they're like, well, wait a second.
Right.
Like John's looking at Brock Osweiler. Well, he can do this.
Right.
I did it. He could do it.
Why can't you see what I see?
Yeah.
Because John can just process information like this here.
Yeah.
Well, everybody can't do that, and that's in the all-time greats. That's why they have a hard time coaching.
Yep.
Mike Singletary could not understand why guys didn't want to spend 8 hours a day studying like he did, because that's not how they're wired.
Yeah.
And so a guy that's on the lesser tier, Skip, he understands. He sees it through a different lens.
I know, Mike, and he couldn't understand why everybody in his locker room didn't want to run through the wall the way he wanted to run through the wall.
Yes.
They couldn't get themselves individually up for games the way he got like psycho up for games.
Correct.
And finally he sent Vernon Davis to the locker room. You know,
Well, can't play with him.
Yeah.
Can't win with him.
Can't win with him. Yeah, there you go.
And every once in a while, now Ozzie is in the Hall of Fame, and you get a situation like him.
He can do it. He can cross over.
I mean,
great player, great picker.
I mean, to do what he's been able. Now,
You can see it and feel it.
He hasn't, and he'll tell you, I haven't had success picking wide receivers.
No.
Because
That's a good point.
Travis Taylor and all this, Brashard Perriman, they're still hoping. But defensive guys, I mean, he got 3 first ballot Hall of Famers, and Ray is going in this year, Ed next year, and then Suggs when he retires. And he got Jonathan Ogden already in.
That'll work.
I don't know how you do better than that in 20 years to get 4 Hall of Famers.
And John Elway's best pick was
Von Miller, who's probably going to be probably going to go to Canton.
Probably going to go.
So, you ready to say it? Broncos Super Bowl? No?
He's not even ready to say AFC West.
Come on.
I'm gonna say Cavs.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
What if Ron played for the Broncos?
Well,
You know
that need to be all in.
You should try that.
Then they three-peat. No mercy. The Vikings are still in need of a quarterback. Case Keenum is headed to Denver, and Drew Brees will reportedly be staying in New Orleans. But there's still a finalist in the Kirk Cousins sweepstakes. NFL Network is reporting Cousins will visit with the Vikings before the Jets, and they've offered him a fully guaranteed 3-year deal for $28 million per year. We're joined by Fox NFL analyst and former Viking Greg Jennings. Welcome, Greg. Good morning.
Good morning.
Wow.
Who will be the starting quarterback for the Vikings next season?
Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins.
We heard it here first.
We heard it here first. You said wow. My wow is if this is, okay, fully guaranteed.
Fully.
Changes the game.
Yes.
That is.
So they can do it.
They can do it. They can do it.
Oh.
They can do it. Kirk Cousins will be a trailblazer. This will be a trend-setting moment right here. If this contract is set and it is a fully guaranteed deal, this is what, as players In the NFL, we've been wanting for years fully guaranteed contracts that lets you know and the team know I'm covered no matter what.
Yeah.
What you're telling me, you're going to take care of me no matter what. And with a guy like Kirk Cousins, if he ends up there, if this is set, he fits everything what the Vikings are trying to do. His personality, I love the personality match with he and Mike Zimmer. I think they're both fiery guys. They both have an edge about them that they feel like they always have something to prove. Even if they have some success, it's like I still yet have some more to prove. And then with the weapons around him, he has solid perimeter guys, a tight end that's going to be sure-handed, a young running back, an offensive line that jumped leaps and bounds. And I haven't even mentioned the defense yet. Like, this is a great situation for Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings. New facility, new face of your franchise. I mean, I love everything about this deal. Most importantly, the fully guaranteed deal. This will change the way contracts are laid out. This is why I love guys like Kirk Cousins, who bets on themselves and they win big.
Yep. This is a game changer, Skip. This is because for the longest time, we can't fully guarantee this. It's roster bonus, and if you do this, if you play 13 games, you have 85% of the play. No, fully guaranteed. I'm 3 years. That's what you owe me. $84 million over the next 3 years. That's what you owe me. Like baseball, like basketball. And if I'm Kirk Cousins, I know the Jets might offer me $100 million, and some of it's guaranteed. But you take the fully because everybody's coming. So now, guess what, Skip? This is not about. We think this is a perfect match. The young offense with Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen, Kyle Rudolph, Dalvin Cook, an offensive line that got better and better as the season progressed. The top defense in all of football. We know this is a perfect fit. But now, this is about everybody coming. Because I'm like, hey, y'all see what Kurt did. I need y'all to guarantee this here. These first 3 years, I need guaranteed money. It's $80 million contract. I need the first 3 years guaranteed at 60. Fully.
Yeah, but remember, he's also saying it's going to end at 3 years, and I'm going to be a free agent again at age 32.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow.
Exactly. And his last 2 years was basically fully guaranteed.
Yeah.
He might say, you know what, I'll go a little longer if y'all want to, up this. Y'all want to put it like 110 on the table, guaranteed. I go 4 years for y'all. I'll do that for you if you want to. But 3 years fully guaranteed, Skip, it's a game changer. Because you know how long you've been around this game, and guys have been wanting guaranteed money.
This is NBA, MLB money.
It is.
Yeah.
It really
Yeah.
is. Right. This is exciting.
$28 million. Well, it is exciting. And Kirk Cousins would really show me something if he actually signed the purple dotted line. I will be pleasantly surprised for him if he actually does this. I assume he's still going to take his visit to the Jets.
Can't let him get on that plane.
No? You don't think so?
Nope.
No.
They're going to lock him up?
Yep.
All right.
Put a DeAndre Jordan on him.
I'm pretty sure the Jets will offer, if he ever gets to their facility, I will bet they will offer $100 million. This is 84. I will bet you they'll hit the big 100 number for 3 years. And it's another.
Me too. I got to go, Greg. Greg, I got to go.
$16 million.
Yeah, I got to go. I got to go, Greg. I'm sorry.
Just remember, this is the same Kirk Cousins who wouldn't even sniff, wouldn't even kick the tires in Denver. And I'm thinking it's because he's looking John Elway, Peyton Manning, Kirk Cousins. I don't think I fit there. Like, you got to follow that legacy. Everything you say about Minneapolis, Minnesota is perfect because you live there. It's a great place to live, and the team is just right on the threshold. All it needs is a Kirk Cousins.
Yep.
And yet, does he really want to be that guy? Does he want to be seen as the savior, the final crucial piece to the Super Bowl puzzle that Minneapolis has never had? Okay, remember, they've never won a Super Bowl. They went to 4 back in the day, right? And so he would be seen as the guy who's going to win us a Super Bowl next year for $28 million a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all he got to do.
You want to be that guy?
Just win one.
Really?
And just win one, it's worth it.
It is totally on. It's not totally on him. We know that, but it is a lot of burden on Kirk Cousins because you've gotten so close.
The spotlight on Kirk Cousins when camp opens? he will be seen as the guy in pro football.
Absolutely.
He revolutionized contracts.
Yes.
You're doing handsprings for Kirk Cousins. This is a guy who went 26, 30, and 1 as the Redskins starter and went 1 and 6 against my Dallas Cowboys. And this is the guy who's going to lead the Vikings to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And it's perfectly positioned. But is he that guy? I don't think he's made of that kind of stuff.
He's
But that's
made
just
of
me.
it. Because we saw what happened last year. Nick Foles. Skip used to call the man Foles Gold. And
That was back in 2013 when he took over, and all he did was throw 27 touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
And
So it became a running joke.
Why? No. But guess what? He got him a documentary coming out too out here.
Nick Foles? Nick Foles is made of the right stuff. I mean, he showed me something at the highest levels. He's made of stuff I don't think Carson Wentz is made
Stop
of.
it.
Well,
You know
I don't
what?
think he is.
Oh, well, I'm happy for Kirk.
Okay.
I'm happy for Kirk. And this is what, look, when they make this move, they went to the NFC Championship game with Case Keenum. They believe, and they're saying, we believe in order to get over the hump, Kirk is the guy that can get us there. That's all they're saying. They're not getting any. They're not bringing in any. They're bringing a few small dollar guys here, there, to add some quality depth. But the big piece of this puzzle is number 8.
Without question. Without question.
All I know, I'm going to say this one more time. 7 times as a Cowboy fan, I rooted against Kirk Cousins, and only 1 time did he win a game against Kellen Moore for a woeful Cowboys team. He lost to Matt Castle on a Monday night in his place, in his stadium.
See, I think the difference with this situation is, yeah, we are expecting Kirk Cousins to be the savior now, but he does not have, with Mike Zimmer and what he does defensively, what this team is defensively, he doesn't have to be the savior. All he has to do is shore up that offensive passing game, which we've seen them have success with Case Keenum
last year. Yeah.
The difference maker for me is his ability to throw with accuracy, number 1, and his strength and his velocity of his throwing the football. When I watch these young receivers, they had to go up and attack the ball a lot,
I agree.
which is a good thing.
Yep.
Which is a good thing.
Nope,
but when you
you're
have a quarterback that can put the ball in tight windows with velocity, you create them a lot more opportunity for run after the catch, big plays. And so that's what I'm looking for. But this was the perfect storm for Kirk Cousins. Perfect storm.
I believe Kirk will be even better. You know why, Skip? He's protected. See, he doesn't have to worry about getting hurt. When you're playing on a franchise tag, you playing year to year. I'm here for 3 years. I'm not going anywhere. So now guess what he can do? He can play free. Woo! Woo! Somebody's in a heap of trouble. Somebody might be in a heap of trouble.
I'm going to say this one more time. Obviously, Kirk Cousins has a better arm than Case Keenum. Case Keenum is mentally tougher under fire than Kirk Cousins is. Kirk Cousins will make big mistakes.
You worry about Carson Wentz and what he's going to do to your Cowboys.
I'm not worried about Carson Wentz at all.
You better worry about the Eagles. They loading up again.
They are.
They did ammo.
Yeah.
They got load now.
Well, I'd have to worry about the Vikings if Kirk Cousins was.
Y'all ain't got to worry about that far. You're not going to even see the Vikings. You worry about the Eagles in your division. Somebody you're going to see twice and go 0-2 again.
All I know is I got Dak and Zeke, and I'm good.
Whoa.
I'm good. It's over.
With that Dak-friendly
Over.
offense? With that Dak-friendly offense?
Philly's going to come back to earth. Every time you think a team is just like too good to be true, it's not true.
No, it ain't too good.
Yep.
It's going to get better. They might be 14-2, 15-1 this year.
Maybe.
I'm back on Kirk, man. Way to go, man. Sign on that dotted.
Good for him.
Hold on, wait a minute. Before you sign on that dotted line, lend an ear to the Jets.
Just shoot the Jets a little text.
Yeah, send them a little text, see if they're going to give you 100 guarantee. But just the guarantee.
84, what can you do?
Well, remember, it ain't over yet. You could go back to the Vikings and say, hey, they just offered me $100 million.
I said, you know what? I want a nice round number. I want to be the first quarterback to say I made $30 million. So give me, look here. I want 30 a year. 90 mil. Give me 87 guaranteed.
I mean, you got to give it to him. You can make some money now.
Absolutely.
I like him now. You like that?
You can make
You
some
like
money.
that?
I don't like that.
You like that. No mercy. Shannon, you were waiting for weeks for the episode 6 of Tom vs. Time, and it finally came out yesterday. We learned just how serious Brady's hand injury was before the AFC Championship game and how Brady reacted to the Super Bowl loss to the Eagles. Let's take a listen.
So, how are you feeling, man?
I'm feeling
It's a loaded question. You play the game to be in those moments. And you play those games to have the chance to win the Super Bowl. And when you don't come through, it's very painful. This offseason is going to be about my family, and they deserve it. There's more to think about than just me, and I think that's what you commit to when you have a family, and they commit a lot to me. You know, that obviously goes both ways.
These last 2 years have been very challenging for him in so many ways. And I think he just want, he tells me, I love it so much and I just want to go to work and feel appreciated and have fun.
It's a big commitment. Sitting here, laying here 3 days after the year, getting my Achilles worked on my thumb. And you go, what are we doing this for? You know, what are we doing this for? Who are we doing this for? Why are we doing this? You gotta have answers to those questions. And they have to be with a lot of conviction. You know, when you lose your conviction, then you probably should be doing something else.
Shannon,
Huh?
what was your takeaway from the final episode?
They ask Tom, how you feel? Joy, the man said it's a loaded question. Skip Bayless, are you serious? You know what, this is not a loaded question. A loaded question, would you rather be hit by a Mack truck or a dump truck? That's a loaded question. You lost the Super Bowl, not to Aaron Rodgers, not to Drew Brees, not to Ben Roethlisberger, to a backup who started 3 regular season games that year.
Who put up 41 points on Bill Belichick's defense.
Is it my time, Joy?
Yeah.
Is it my time? Can I speak
That's
now?
why it's loaded, because
No.
you can't say that.
No, you're supposed to say, I feel like stir-fried dog poop. That's how I feel. I got
You're
beat by a
supposed to say,
backup.
my coach let me
No,
down, my Hall of Fame coach. You know?
As he goes deeper into it, Skip, he asks the question. And I've asked myself these very questions as I'm training. Who, what, why, when, how much longer? Those are the questions that he asked himself to get himself in the right the right mind frame to go out there and compete at a high level. And speaking of cuts, I want my cut. Joy, you heard it. They used my voice when I said it was a big fat nothing burger. They used some other guy's voice. Why didn't they put Coach Belichick when he said it wasn't open heart surgery? I want my cut, Tom.
Because Big Fat Nothing Burger is a better line.
Oh no, I want my cut. You cannot use my likeness. You can't use my voice without the express written consent of Shannon Sharp of FF.
How do we know they didn't have somebody else just record it?
Whoa! I want my cut, Skip. But
You know what? That didn't look like a nothing burger to me. That looked like a big old cut up piece of meat dripping with blood. Did you see how deep that gash was? Did you see the swelling on the palm of a quarterback's hand?
Skip,
Seriously.
he threw for 500 in the Super Bowl.
He threw the all-time
Okay,
record
then.
for any
So
playoff
good.
game
So
with that. With that.
He was fine. Coach Belichick,
was fine?
hold on. Coach Belichick saw him every day. Coach Belichick said it wasn't open heart surgery. What am I supposed to say? Am I supposed to go against Coach Belichick?
Yeah, he's as jealous of Tom Brady as you are.
Skip, first, and also, what do you mean you're going to dedicate this offseason to your family? Hell, they've been dedicating the last 18, well, they've been married for about 10 years. The whole season is about you. Giselle has to be mom and dad. Get the kids up, get the kids to school, go watch soccer practice. So this shouldn't be new to you, Tom. Look, I get it. I understand. Families have to make a lot of sacrifices. Giselle has to make a lot of sacrifices. And he's like, it's going to be a family decision. No, it's not. You can have your mom, your dad, your sisters, and Giselle. Guess what? You have one more vote than them because that's the only vote that matters. Skip, you know good and well. And unfortunately, I have a feeling, Skip, that Tom is going to try to play as long as he can, unforeseen injury notwithstanding. And I'm afraid that might be the only way is that an injury knocks him out for part of the season and he walks away. Other than that, Skip, he doesn't say, because in one breath he says, okay, yeah, I want to spend time with my family and I might, walk away, step. He's not saying those exact words, but I want to step away from family time, and that's what you have a family for, to give them a lot of your time. But in the same breath, you hear Giselle saying he loves it. He says, can I just go to work because I love it so much? That doesn't sound like a guy.
At one point, she said he loves it more than he loves me. Yeah. She said, I think that was in episode 5. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so that doesn't sound like a guy that says, you know what, I got one more year. He's not retiring after MVP season, obviously.
Thank you.
But I don't see him walking away minus an injury anytime soon.
You don't?
I thought he was going to play 2 more. I thought he was going to play like 2 years, get it 20. But Tom Brady might try to be like Vinatieri. Because Vinatieri came in 96, and here he is still playing.
Yep.
So he might try to top Adam Vinatieri.
Joy, do you realize that he also deserves a cut for episode 5? And I don't know if you saw episode 5. It kind of came out right before the Super Bowl.
What happened?
And your voice is heard screaming as usual on below the tape, and it's about he's got 1 more year left in him, max. That was it. Max.
How can they use? They can't use that, Skip.
Yeah,
they didn't call me. That's copyrighted.
Oh, okay.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
you can't use
know that
without the express written consent.
Of Shannon Sharp.
Of
They did a whole Miles and Yak remix
they did?
on the internet.
I get a little cut of that, though.
No, you don't.
I got a little cut.
Yeah. You get a little sip of that.
Yeah.
So the point is, you have now come full circle, and you've backed off, and you said, that guy that I watched in episode 6, he's going to play for a while.
He wants to.
Right? Yeah.
He wants to.
Again, barring, I'm knocking on wood, unforeseen.
And he wouldn't have been playing in New England had Mr. Kraft not pulled the rug out from under Coach Belichick.
Oh, that is true. No, I agree. So, to me, I'm going to go big picture first. All 6 episodes, at their heart, was a tug of war between Giselle and Tom over how much longer are you going to do this? Because at one point she said, you told me when we met, I'm going to play for 10 more years, and now next year would be the 12th year.
Yes.
Okay, since they've met.
Yes.
And I think she is starting to come to the realization it ain't going to end anytime soon.
Nope.
And it might be that Tom is putting the golf clubs in the closet more in the offseason than he used to. That might be the case because he does have 3 kids and they're getting up there a little older and a little older. But I applaud Giselle because during the season, she's got this, man. It's mostly you. You got to be mom and dad.
Dad, yes.
Right?
And that's the thing, Skip, because, pro athletes have a very high divorce rate when they leave their particular sport.
Yep.
Because the other always thinks, well, I'm going to have them home all the time, it's going to be so good.
Yep.
And guess what happens? When you have them home all the time, it ain't so good because he's upset or she's upset because now they don't have anything to fill that void. See, Kobe went into writing, and so he had something to fill the void, that burning desire that he had in basketball.
Yep.
For the most part, unless you do what I do, you get it right back into it and you do in TV, keeps you close to the game, you get to travel.
Yep.
But a lot of these guys don't have that luxury. So they're home all the time. They're irritable. Now the least little thing, everybody's upset.
Yep.
So it's not always so Giselle, hey, because if you force him to retire before he's ready, he's going to be resentful because he's like, I shouldn't even be here. I should be at practice right now. And so now he's upset. So Giselle, just let him, you done bit your tongue this long.
Yep.
You done held it back. Let him go ahead. Hey, you're going to have another 25, 30 years. I know this is not what you signed up for.
Yep.
Because he told you 10.
He did.
Now he at 12. It probably going to look like it's going to be 13, 14, 15.
It's feeling like that. I agree. The other thing that struck me about all 6 episodes is, this is the problem a lot of you and some of the other of our commentators here on this show have with Tom. He comes across as so aw shucks gee whiz, and he was even in this episode, and he comes across too often as the corny, goofy dad next door. And then a couple of minutes later, he's dropping F-bombs or MF bombs.
Yeah.
And you see that side of him. That's the guy who goes Psycho Tom on Sunday. That's the guy who can still succeed at pro football at the highest level at age 40,
Right.
who doesn't really fit in with some of the other football players,
Right.
but he's beloved in the locker room
Yes.
because he's got that in him.
Yes.
Okay? So now, I think there were two big messages to Coach Belichick. The first one was to show that thumb, just to show it. He's got acupuncture pins in it. I think it was a serious injury. I think he said for one full day he thought he wasn't going to be able to play.
I'm still trying to figure out how he cut his hand like that on a helmet.
I don't know. You could be right about that. Maybe it was something else. Maybe there's more to the story.
They got to be, Skip.
Because he didn't divulge anything about
Skip,
how it happened.
That looks like a knife cut.
It did.
That doesn't look like no helmet
It
cut.
could have been an accident. It could have been something else.
And how
I'm with you on that.
On a
I would agree.
handoff.
Yep.
How you hit the...
I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, either Burkhead is a little person or Tom Brady. No, come on, Skip. It's not adding up.
Yep.
I'm going to get to the bottom of this.
Yep. And then he wanted to make it clear because the opening montage is that between the lines, he's saying, I almost overcame a coach who didn't play Malcolm Butler and gave up 41 points to a backup quarterback, and I'm throwing into the end zone at the end of the game. And could we see that play one more time, the Hail Tommy? This was such a great play by Brady because he avoids the guy who knocked the ball out of his hands. And then look at this throw. He throws it 56 yards in the air. Tell me Gronkowski shouldn't make a play on this ball. I still don't get it.
I tell you what, if I'm Doug Peterson, I call 21 in. I say, look here. You know what you're supposed to do on a Hail Mary? Knock it down. Skip, he almost tips this ball up and Amendola almost catches it.
Yeah,
He's trying to catch it. Skip, why are you trying to catch the ball? I think that's Mills. Skip, watch what he does. Watch what the 21 does. He hit Patrick Robinson. Look at this, Skip.
Oh, it gets tipped backwards. 23, Rodney McLeod hits it first.
Yeah.
Rodney McLeod is 5 feet 10 inches tall. Gronk flat-foots it. He didn't even go up for the ball. Tell me that's not a jump ball for a 6'6" guy.
But Skip, he's running. He's running. And
you got to plant and go up. Just go up like you own it.
But they went up over the top of him, Skip. They went over the back.
You can go up. You can jump a little bit.
Huh? Why are you thinking he's LeBron?
Huh? Well, he's 6'6".
He got on shoulder pads and helmet.
Okay. Well, go snatch it like you own it.
You still up, Skip?
You would have gone up.
He upset about that.
Right, well,
it's been a month.
Well, the whole opening montage of episode 6 is a slow motion of this because he's saying, look at this. This is how close it came. Would that not have been the miracle of miracles?
I'm trying to figure out. I want to know who his editor was. Who edited this? Because I can assure you the confetti that rained down in the first Tom episode 6 wasn't green. So how they do that? How they do this? How they get the confetti that was green and white to come down as opposed to the red and blue? Because you see the red and blue confetti, and Tom is like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this.
I don't know.
Oh my God.
Is that what he was saying?
That's what he was saying.
I didn't remember
But I
that.
know no, that's not what he said. Nick Foles. That's what he should have said. How you feeling, Tom? I feel like stir-fried dog poo. I got beat by a backup, Nick Foles. Beat me.
Beat him by 41 on my coach's defense.
Beat him.
While Malcolm Butler stood and watched.
Whoa. Now, see,
Yep.
I remember when Peyton Manning used to throw for 400-plus yards against the Patriots, and Tom Brady throw for 175 and they win. Tom Brady is great. Nobody mentioned Coach Belichick's defense. Now, all of a sudden, Tom Brady
41?
That's
to Nick Foles?
That's the excuses we make. Because, see, when Tom Brady was putting up those stats and he wasn't winning, stats are for losers, what they told me, Joy. So I don't want to hear nothing about no 515. I don't want to hear nothing about no 631. I don't want to hear nothing about the most points ever scored.
By a loser.
I stayed open late. I made sure I had them hot ales. No juicy loosies for you, just hot ales.
Yeah. Did you tell LeBron on the street yesterday, you can't come to my restaurant?
Bron, come anytime. My partner. We part owners together. We partners, Skip.
They just lost by 14-14 to the Clippers and the Lakers at Staples.
Whoa.
He can't come to your restaurant.
Bron can come anytime he wants to. Skip, why you
put
trying?
moral victories back on the menu?
No. What you trying to do, you trying to come between me and my partner. And I'm not going to allow that to happen. Joy tried to do it also.
Well, I think you just came around full circle and you admitted and agreed that
What?
Tom Brady is going to play forever, quote unquote.
No.
Right? Yeah. MVP.
Deuce.
Deuce? Out?
Dose. He playing 2 years, that's it.
Yeah.
Uno, dose.
Well, Tom versus time is officially over. Now we just have to wait for
Kirk
versus
versus-
Kirk.
yeah.
Kirk versus free agency.
Yeah.
What are they going to
Kurt
call it?
and free agents.
They should call it Kirk versus Kurt.
Who is Kurt?
No mercy. Adrian Peterson is going to be released by the Cardinals, according to Adam Schefter. He scored just 2 touchdowns in 6 games with Arizona. They traded for Peterson in October after an uneventful 4 games with the Saints. AP will turn 33 next week. We're joined by FS1 NFL analyst Eric Dickerson. Welcome. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Is AP done?
Well, you know, when you get to be 33 years old, it's getting close to that time. I felt like Arizona was a place that he could play. I knew he wouldn't be that long because they have David Johnson. The offensive line was bad last year. No quarterback. The quarterback situation wasn't good. I always thought that the best place for him when he left Minnesota would be the Raiders. I thought that would be a better fit. Or Green Bay, one of those 2 teams. The team I thought it was a contender with Green Bay, I thought because having Aaron Rodgers and, you know, not having that running game would really help them. Is he done? I think about his career, I think about my career, you know, when I was going into my 11th season. If I could go back and do it all over, would I go to the Falcons? Probably not, because, you know, I figured they weren't a contender. I think if he wants to keep playing, go to a place, maybe the Patriots. I mean, that wouldn't be a bad fit. I mean, you got Tom Brady, who's older. He's older. I don't think he's that feature back anymore. And it comes down to how do you feel not being that guy that's getting 250 carries, 300 carries, even though I don't think he can handle that anymore. I think his body wouldn't handle it. But when you see AP in person, he's in such great shape.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he looks like you. I mean, seriously, he's like you touch
Carved hard like granite.
God,
Why you do that, Eric?
I know.
I
know.
EDK Lotto.
No, I know.
I mean,
You know I'm giving that
We
rate.
don't hear it
How
enough.
he used to.
Yeah.
Still, ED, like, man, you still, that's all you do is work out hard.
Like, you already work out. But, you know, is he done? I don't think he's done. And one more thing, I think he's had a Hall of Fame career. I really do believe that.
Yeah.
I think that is no doubt about that. But, you know, it comes down to what you want to do. I mean, you know, I know he's from Texas, the Houston area. Does he want to go back to Houston? Would he want to play, you know, with Deshaun Watson? And would that prolong his career, maybe another year being at home? But it comes down to what you want to do and what teams are interested. So I think that he has some time left, but not a lot.
AP has been done. Adrian Peterson, if he wants to, can be serviceable. But here's the thing. Going to Houston, Skip, they got Lamar Miller, they got Devontae Foreman. Remember how that worked out with him in the 3-back set in New Orleans. Now, he can't carry the workload. Remember, the last time he had 30 carries, the next game had like 10 yards and he missed the rest of the season.
Yep.
Of 34 players with at least 150 rushes last year, Adrian Peterson had the second lowest average rush, 3.4. Third worst percent of plays went for 10 yards. That strikes you as a guy? All time, and ED, you know that you can attest to this. As a great player, you only see yourself as that, even as you get older in your career.
Yeah.
AP, this is what we need. I'm still Adrian. I'm still AP. I can still go get 12, 13. No, you can't. You can't carry that workload anymore. Everybody is basically going to a 2-back with the exception of the Steelers. But they use Le'Veon Bell differently than they use Adrian Peterson.
Yep.
Adrian Peterson is a bell cow. He's a collision guy. That's not what Le'Veon Bell is. So they're 2 different types of running styles. But Adrian Peterson, he needs to understand he's not that feature guy anymore, ED. And you have to understand, can he play for minimum and be a guy that's only going to get, say, 150 carries? If he can do that, but I don't know. When you see this free agent market, you look at all these guys, the oldest guy out there is Danny Woodhead, who's a scat back. Deion Lewis is 27. Carlos Hyde is 26. Jeremy Hill is 25. McKinnon is 25. So DeMarco Murray is 30. Adrian Peterson about to be 33.
But I would still take him over any of them guys you just named. I mean, you
Do what? You want to sell tickets?
Well, yeah, I would like to sell. Of course, you're going to sell. I think he can still play. You know, and the guys you just named, he can not play any of those guys. But forget the age, because, you know, first of all, as a player, you know this as well as anybody. Sometimes it's not about those 2 numbers. It's about how you feel, how your body feels. But hold on. But I agree with you. He's not a feature back anymore. He's not AP. He's Adrian.
Yes.
I agree with that.
And this is why I would take these guys. You know why? Because all these guys have played with other guys before. They don't need to be the feature guy. He needs to be the feature guy, and that's all he sees himself as.
And remember, the one negative on Adrian, I don't know why, but he can't catch it. So you got a couple of guys on there who can really catch it out of like Deion Lewis or Woodhead or those. They're just little scat back who can catch little swing
Swing
passes.
pattern.
Right.
So this is what just hurts me to my soul, that we're looking at a Hall of Fame running back starting to bounce around the league, and now he's begging for the Houston Texans. Please, yeah, that's my dream job. Your dream job? Come on, you're better than this, right?
Yeah.
Come on. And I had high hopes for him going to New Orleans. I told you last year I thought it could be great, and then Alvin Kamara happened.
Yeah.
And I didn't see that coming because I didn't see enough of him at Tennessee or certainly at Alabama. And all of a sudden, whammo, he happened. And he was special right away. And his coach knew he was special. And so Adrian at New Orleans wound up 27 carries for 81 yards, 3.0, like per carry. That's just pretty pathetic. He was pretty pathetic there.
Yeah.
Then he goes to Bruce Arians, and Arians featured him twice in games in which he just broke loose. And they won both the games, and he went for 134 and 159. It was like ED kind of stuff. And that was it. So we had two big blips. And they were great blips. They were like good old days blips.
But here's the thing.
And like you said, then after that, that's
game,
it.
First game out the gate,
Yep.
and then you have, he was whoop, and then he got,
The rest of them.
bam.
But when you notice it, Arizona's offensive line is terrible.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it's terrible. So as a back, if you don't have the guys up front, I don't care if you're a young Eric Dickerson, a young Barry Sanders, if you don't have the guys up front to give you somewhere to run.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And AP's not that bounce around guy.
No.
He's more like a straight line.
Hit it up in there.
Hit it up in that type of back. And if you don't have those holes, it's not gonna happen. That's why I really believe. I think the Patriots would be a good fit.
Could be.
Could be a good fit.
Where you could just pick his spots for him.
Yeah, pick his spots.
They'll use him, 4 or 5 times a year to feature him.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. I don't believe he can play like that. Because 1 week you might get 30 carries, and then you might go a month. Because think about it. James White had 14 catches. James White barely played in the Super Bowl this year. So you never, who was that? Jonas Gray, Offensive Player of the Week. And then he never plays, never sees the field again. And as a running back, ED, you need carries. You need a rhythm. He is really a rhythm player.
Yep.
He can't get in the rhythm having 15 carries once every 5 weeks.
But it comes to a point where you have to say to yourself, I'm not that guy anymore.
It comes to a point you got to say, I'm taking my butt home.
Yeah, it comes to a point.
That's the point it got to come to.
So the great Eric Dickerson lasted 153 NFL games. Right now, Adrian Peterson has played 138, so he's still a little short of you. But I watched every snap he took at the University of Oklahoma, and he is as high a collision back as I have ever watched. In college, he was head hunting.
Yes.
He's looking for linebackers to run over, and he had a lot of that in him early on at Minnesota. So he has paid a long price here, and it's probably starting to catch up to him. And I'm more in Shannon's corner, even though I saw these bursts from him last year. It feels like he's done to me. And I hope I'm wrong about that for his sake, but it just seems like as great a shape as he's in, and I know, you can only run into something so many times, right? You only have so many collisions in your human body.
And as a running back, you have so many hits. And you're right. You look in the mirror and say, I still look like that guy.
Yeah.
But you don't. I watch him. He doesn't have that.
No, he doesn't have it.
It's almost like I gotta get to it. I gotta get to it.
Everybody ain't gonna be Emmett. 15 years as a running back, or Marcus Allen play all those years, but they were different style runners.
I say different.
They weren't collision guys.
Emmett lasted 243 games.
Think about it.
You were 153.
And all the playoffs.
Emmitt Smith could avoid collisions better than any back I ever watched. I've never seen anything like it.
But I saw that offensive line.
It was
like,
great.
Oh, man, can I get that hole?
Norv Turner used to talk about in the early days with the Cowboy 90s dynasty, Emmitt had the greatest quickness in a confined space he ever saw, meaning he could duck and dart behind all those elephants, and you couldn't get a hit on him. And he's trying to avoid collisions.
Yeah.
He's the complete opposite of Adrian Peterson. And then later in his career, he won't like me saying this, but he would just, I'm out. I'm out.
Hey, ED, you got to learn to throw that blink on those, ED.
I'm out.
Just run it up out of bounds.
I'm out. I've had enough.
Yeah.
I got my 4 yards. I'm out.
But that was the best offensive line I ever saw.
It was great.
That was the best.
I would agree with you. That's the best one I ever saw.
And I agree with you because we used to sit back and say, man, look at them. Emmett said this past season, you see them holes Zeke had? I'm like, Emmett, what's wrong with you? You said, oh, you had
Them whole Zeke holes weren't big as
no.
You had Larry Allen, Nate Newton, Big E.
Oh God.
If Big if Easy hadn't got hurt, he might have been the best of them all.
Oh.
That dude was a monster.
Yeah.
He got hurt in a car.
Yeah.
No mercy. The Lakers host the Nuggets tonight, and all eyes will be on Jamal Murray and Lonzo Ball. In the closing seconds of the Nuggets' win against the Lakers on Friday, Murray stole Lonzo's pass and appeared to trash talk at either Ball or Luke Walton. After the game, Walton said the act was disrespectful, while Lonzo called it, quote, circus stuff. This all comes after their matchup in December when Murray dribbled around Lonzo in the closing seconds of the Nuggets win, which Lonzo called a punk move. We're joined by FS1 NBA analyst Eddie House. Welcome, Eddie.
Good morning.
House.
Do you expect any retaliation from the Lakers or Lonzo tonight?
No, I don't see no retaliation. It's not that serious. It wasn't like a hard foul or it's just trash talk. That's all it is. It's back to regular basketball. That's what it's been like that. Let's keep that going. I like that. I think that's good for Lonzo. I think that's good for the Lakers, and it's good for the league when that's going on. I like when that's going on. You get a little back and forth, and you start creating these little individual rivalries that turn into team rivalries. I like that. And the fact that Lonzo is speaking out, and we're talking about him now. I like that fact, that we're not talking about anybody else but Lonzo and what he's doing. So I don't expect any retaliation. I just expect it to be a good game and them to battle each other.
So wait a second. You don't think Lonzo should have stood up for himself at any of these points against Jamal or anybody else?
But stood up for what? What did Jamal do? Just
Dribble around like he's the Harlem Globetrotters. The clock running out.
what Lonzo called it? That's a circus move.
And so what is he telling you? You the clown, because I'm doing this to you.
No, that's not what I don't take it that way. You could be, I mean, come on, man. At the end of the day, man, Jamal Murray, he's a very good player. I'll give you that. Jamal Murray has made a great jump from his rookie season to right now. He's a real good player. But I like what's going on, though. You can't take it to the point where you say retaliation. That's a stiff word there.
Wait, Eddie House would have taken this and just looked.
You gonna let the man dribble around you with the clock running out, the guy going around in circles on you. That's what he doing to you.
No, but
No, I know, but what you do?
What I'm gonna do, I find a way to do it within the game, though.
Okay,
within the
hard
game.
foul.
Within the game.
Within the game, how?
I mean, shit.
Not
I mean,
that.
I didn't say that all the way. Almost. I'm letting go for a layup. You might catch the little elbow upside the head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But any little stuff like
But
that,
why-
or run him into a screen.
You can run
You
him.
got your big man run him into a screen.
Let me ask you a question. Why you think he did that to Lonzo? He didn't do it to Julius Randle. He didn't do it to Brandon Ingram. Why did he do it to Lonzo?
He had to find somebody that he could create some kind of fuss with. And that's the perfect dude to do it. At the time, you got to think Lonzo wasn't talking, quiet. The only one talking was his dad. Everybody was like, his dad got more dog than he does. I think Lonzo will come out and have a great game tonight, to be honest with you.
I hope you're right.
I think it goes back to Phoenix. You remember Caldwell Pope and someone from the Suns got into it. Lonzo Ball walks 2 feet away. They're arguing. He looks back, and he keeps walking. They ask him about it after the game. He says, this NBA, ain't nobody trying to fight. I ain't trying to get no tech. It's not about getting a tech. It's about even if you just go back and pull your boy out of the fray, your teammates know you got their back.
But I think Caldwell Pope, it was a smaller guy. He was going
No,
on.
right there. No, I'm saying right there. And
Yeah, it was Tyler Eulis.
what I'm saying. But I'm saying, look at this.
He got that.
Eulis?
Yeah, look.
But look,
He got that.
I'm just saying, look at
You
Lonzo.
got to go break that up.
Yeah, you got to break that up. You got to say, come on, man, get out of
Tyler
there.
Eulis is like.
Where is Phoenix? Yeah, well, the Phoenix players need to come for that.
Josh Jackson came and got a tech. See, Josh Jackson got that dog. And you don't see nobody dribbling around. Phoenix lose like 4 games a week. Ain't nobody dribbling around Josh Jackson.
Look at Brook Lopez. Look how long it took Brook Lopez.
But look what, come on, Eddie.
Look at
Eddie, your boy, Eddie.
Look at Ingram.
Eddie, your boy getting a scuffle.
What about?
Look at Caldwell Pope trying to get in there. Everybody trying to get in there.
Well, he started it.
That's the whole thing. Then he gonna talk about, look at that. All 3 of them ain't doing them going to a hair convention.
But what about?
Soul Glow. You know ain't nothing popping off.
So, did Eddie House ever fight? Did you ever throw a punch? Did you ever
No.
push back?
I mean, we push, but never throw no punch, man.
Yeah.
No, you can't throw a punch. You lose too much money. I'm giving them dollars back. I need them ducats in my pocket.
College, no fight?
No, we not on the court. You don't do that on the court. You're gonna take care of. You can take care of it afterwards. Believe that.
I'm with Shannon Sharp on this one. I just think Lonzo Ball, because he was the 2nd pick in the draft, and he did come in with the biggest target on his back of any rookie in any sport in the history of this country, thanks to his father, that at some point he's got to be his own man. and I'm not saying he has to throw a punch because we don't want to see that.
No.
But you have to push back somehow. You got to do something somewhere to somebody where you show some physicality, where you say, no, you can't do that to me. And maybe you take it to your point. If you have a great game tonight and you just punish that team tonight, that'll work. That helps a little bit because Denver's a good team. And if you do to Denver what you did to the Cavaliers, that'll work. That'll take some of the edge out and some of the sting out of this. I liked it that Lonzo called it a punk move. Now, it was in retrospect. It was the other night he talked about the Denver dribbling in circles. So at some point, because Lonzo has seen, you grow up, your kids are playing AAU basketball. There are too many of these AAU babies, and I think they're coddled, and I think I don't see enough physical basketball from them. You've been watching this all along. But wouldn't you agree there's a group, and they're just sort of, there's too much spoiled brat in that AAU system.
Yeah, they get catered to.
Yeah.
You know, they get flew everywhere. They hop on different teams.
Yep.
You know, their family gets paid for and all those type of things. But that happens a lot, and it is a bunch of them out there. I'm glad I'm not turning mine into that. That we're not gonna have that. But at the same time, man, if Lonzo comes out and balls out tonight, all this is put to rest. That's all he has to do. Just come out and ball out.
Ball out and give you a hard elbow in the chest.
Well, you can do that. You can run him over, get a charge, take a foul, whatever.
Yeah.
Run him into somebody, run him into the screen. But within the game, though, that's what I'm saying. Do it within the game.
Yeah, but
No,
I'm not advocating, giving the NBA any of that money back. But here's the thing. You know this, when you play pro sports, it's predatory behavior. We find a weak link, and we take advantage of you. So if we view you as weak, why am I going? If you notice, Zach Randolph ain't never thrown a punch. You don't see nobody challenge Zebo, do you?
No.
Cause he projects. I ain't about that BS.
You about that life.
Lonzo project. I ain't on this.
I still say it would have helped Lonzo if he had one veteran on this team who had some enforcer in his mentality and his physique.
Right.
Because he's got no big brother on this team. And I think
Jordan
father,
had that.
Yeah,
with Oak.
Did he? Whew.
If you hard fouled Jordan back then, you had to deal with Oak.
Yeah.
And wasn't nobody really trying to see Oak like that, because he was like that on the court and off the court. He calmed down a little bit now though, and that's what Lonzo need. Lonzo need his enforcer. Have that one guy.
But they're a young team. Again, this is it. Look, he's averaging 10, almost 10, 7 to 7. He's one of only 4 people that's doing that out there. Mm-hmm. If he has a good game tonight, all this is put to rest. That's all he has to do is come out and have a good game.
You remember Serge Ibaka hard foul LeBron? Or was that Biombo? And they put Dante Jones in the game. What'd he do? Get thrown out like 10 seconds. Go on in 60 seconds. Yap! Okay, you gonna foul my guy? Like, okay, you act like you ain't got no sense. Okay, watch this. Yap!
So
it should be somebody else doing it, not Lonzo then.
What'd Steven Jackson say? Pop would put him in the game to punish somebody.
Yeah.
Okay.
For somebody else, though, right?
Yeah.
So Lonzo needs to enforce it. It doesn't need to come from Lonzo.
Lonzo just do it to get the elbow. I mean, hey, you go over the charge, put the knee in the chair,
It's little things you could do. It's a little tactics you could do. You can pull off
just
a lot of
quick
things
shot.
within the game.
Yes.
Do you see Lonzo Ball as soft?
Yeah.
Yeah. So his father is not soft.
No.
You saying he didn't have enough of his father in him?
Nope.
So his father made his life miserable from the start of the season on, and he doesn't have enough of his father in him.
But his father can instill that. You either have it or you don't.
Yeah.
Now, granted, being around certain people, hey, my grandfather was no nonsense. He didn't say, hey, he said, boy, I send y'all to school to learn. I don't send you to fight. But if you fight, you better not lose. So I wasn't going to school trying to bother nobody. I stayed to myself, do as little work as I possibly could, because I knew that's what I was trying to do to go to school. But they tell you, Shannon Sharp ain't fight. He wasn't no bad person, but ain't nobody mess with me, because I wasn't trying to mess with nobody, but they knew.
You put them paws on him?
Oh, it wasn't no problem for me to tussle. I had an older brother, fought him every day, so when I go to school, I felt real comfortable I'll be able to beat kids my age or a year or two older. Felt real comfortable with that. Real comfortable.
Well, I still say these 3-ball kids, they have a little spoiled brat in them because they've been coddled all the way up.
Yeah.
And Dad is not a spoiled brat. He didn't come from that
Didn't he come from Compton?
Yeah.
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 It's a different skill. My son is different than I am.
Yep.
I grew up harder. He grew up with a 3-car garage in a big old house, so his mentality is skewed differently than mine. I mean, my house was the size of my garage. that I grew up in. So, you know what I'm saying? So his mentality is different. What was going to get, like, I'm going to college regardless. Will I get a scholarship or not? My daddy paid for it. Me, I only knew one way up out of there. That was it.
So y'all are telling me you think that Lonzo is going to tuck his tail? Is that what it is? If you think he's soft, you think he's soft.
I don't think he's completely soft. I just think
You can't
he's
be
trying to
halfway soft, can
above
you?
it all. He's been
can
able
be
to play
softer.
softer. But
Kind of
he's-
soft?
Kind of
He's
soft.
been allowed to be above the game because he's played with this sort of basketball genius, so he's just kind of like too cool for the game. Like he's not going to stoop to engage in that.
Right.
In this league, at this level, the grown man's league, I think you got to stoop.
Okay, he ain't drugstore cotton soft. He cottonelle. You know, you drug
Toilet tissue?
Medicated.
So then you expect him tonight to basically Jamal Murray could just
I have
gangsta him all night, and he's not gonna play harder. He ain't gonna put up no number. He's gonna tuck his tail and not show up. That's what y'all basically saying.
I'm gonna get me two hard fouls.
Like-
I'm gonna make him go look at it, make him think
Here's
it's
the flip
flagrant.
side of Lonzo. Russell Westbrook. Have I ever seen him throw a punch? I have not. Does anybody mess with Russell Westbrook? No, because to your point, no one's ever played harder every possession than this guy does, right?
Yeah.
So you need to see some of that fight in Lonzo.
Like Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Look at Chris Paul, little. Chris Paul ain't but this big.
Hey, people are afraid of him.
Chris be going to. Chris be going
He
to.
get on the court, he
everybody.
mean.
He
He get on the
going
court,
at
he's
everybody.
mean.
Yeah, what you got to do, Eddie?
Just gotta give him
Well, I know what you, but are you telling me that he's gonna tuck his tail? That's
I'm
what
gonna be
asking.
watching the game to see.
At one point or another, he's not going. He's
Something gotta.
gonna have to do
Yeah.
it.
I mean, all three of them gonna spray hair products in the hair before they go on the court. Ain't nobody try to do
Yeah,
that.
nobody's really actually trying to fight.
Right.
So you just gotta,
But
let
you-
him know if
Wait,
we were
that's
gonna
now.
fight, I might participate.
Yeah.
Might.
Yeah.
Might.
Are you
What-
saying you don't spray hair products in your hair?
No, they not.
You got no Murrays in there?
yeah.
That
You got some
that
Murrays
thing
in
just
there.
stay kicked to the side.
Just forward and shine.
Yeah.
But when I was younger, you know,
That's Murray's in there.
nah. You see that thing that got a little gray up there, Skip? If I had some homeboys, Skip, play on the football team, they had that beat you back here. You know what beat you back here is, Skip? You comb it to the front, it beat you to the back. But them junk on rough. But we rough housing folks.
Eddie, thanks for joining us.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. We're back at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.